How you doing, everyone? We are at Hitch Fit with Steve here. So Steve has a pretty cool transformation story. He did an online plan with us to build muscle, and now he's on to his second program. But back in 1999, he was weighing over 240 pounds. We'll get into that in a minute. He started day one at 185, so he dropped over 55 pounds. He started somewhere between 13 and 16%. His waist measured at 35% or 35 inches. Today he came in at 188.9. So during his build he had got up to 201. We built him up to 201. We dropped him a little bit for the shoot, but he came in at 12.63%. So during that build he put on about 5 to 7 pounds of lean muscle. So awesome job. Now we're going to get you cut and ripped and shredded. But take us back to 1999, where you were over 240 pounds, obviously not at a good place. Just how'd you get to that point?
So going back into high school, I was very involved in athletics, very active. Weight gain was really not an issue for me. After high school, got married, got close to having our first child. Exercise, health, fitness pretty much just dropped off my radar. And so I didn't realize what I was doing to my body. I found that when I was in stressful situations, I would deal with stress by eating and packed on quite a few pounds. I'd get up in the middle of the night and eat food. I just snacked all the time, and I ate very unhealthy food.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize at the time that I was that fat.
So what did it take? What was that aha moment to go, what am I doing to myself here? What's going on?
So I don't remember the exact situation, but my wife and I were looking at, I think, some type of online survey at the time to calculate body mass index and all that kind of stuff. And right there, in facts, I discovered that I was actually obese, officially obese.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. A little bit about that journey, just the last 12 weeks. Well, it's been 16 since, but the first 12 weeks there of your build muscle, from your strength increases to just how you're feeling and the structure and just the program, because you did everything online.
Absolutely. So when I started the program, I had gone through all that weight loss, but I was really skinny. And I wanted to enter the program to actually put on some muscle size to get to a point where I felt like I looked like I really should look for my body size and all that kind of stuff. So started the program. I was amazed at how much food I was eating. Amazing amount of food.
Yeah.
Did the program, went through the first 3-4 weeks, and it was quite a struggle, to be frank with you.
Sure.
But I stuck with it, and I became obsessed with completing the program, with seeing the results, and I was really amazed. Probably about the 4th or 5th week, I was looking. I'm one of these guys at the gym that I'm the annoying one that writes everything down.
It's okay though.
So I started looking at things like leg curls, and I was blowing away.
Yeah.
Limits that I had set on myself in high school. In high school, I trained with my football coach, and I just reached a plateau.
Yeah.
So here I am, a 40-year-old that can kick that 20-year-old's butt all over the gym.
Very much so.
So yeah.
And the difference sometimes is just, just education of what you're doing and how you're training and how you're fueling your body.
Right.
A lot of times even, I remember myself in high school and just eating whatever I wanted and thinking, I can just, but looking back on it, going, if I would have ate right and had structure and had that mentor and had that education, oh my gosh, it could have been even more,
Absolutely.
So that's pretty cool stuff. So you surpassed a lot of the strength stuff that you were going there. Now we gained 5 or 7 pounds approximately of lean muscle during this period of time. So now you're going into the fitness model program, and so tell us a little bit about your journey thus far, because it's quite a bit different than the build muscle.
Yeah, so I think, if I remember correctly, I've lost 8 or 9 pounds since that 201.
Correct.
201 state. So it is nice now to get into that fit look.
Yeah.
Probably the struggle with being 201 was you have to gain a little bit of body fat in order to build that muscle.
Correct.
A little bit of body fat around the midsection. That was not a preferable thing, but it's part of the system.
It is.
So it's been nice to lose almost all of that compared to when I started.
Sure.
And it's nice to be able to look in the mirror and say, okay, I can kind of see some abs there. I can see the muscle definition. It's pretty cool.
So day by day, week by week, you start seeing the visual changes. I think one of the most biggest misconceptions that I get on email is that I'll have guys, especially guys, write and they say, my goals are to get bigger and more ripped in this 12-week period of time.
Yeah.
But now you going through a program and understanding fully, you can't build a lot of muscle if that's your focus and get ripped at the same time naturally, because you have to eat more to get bigger. You have to train heavier to get bigger. When you cut, there's more cardio involved. There's cleaner, lower amounts of caloric intake going on there, as far as when you cut. So, just there's no way of doing it both at the same time.
Right.
So it's good that you're going through both and can see that. So, what are you going to do now? Future goals. Obviously, you're doing the program now, but future goals and how it's affected with your family and your wife and whatnot.
So I realize that I am 40. I'm getting older. However, I did have an interest in. I live up in Liberty, Missouri. We have a natural bodybuilding show every spring. So I thought about entering that contest in the spring for the men's physique.
Yeah.
I think I need to go through another cycling of bulking and cutting before that point.
Yep.
So I'd like to get to that point.
Awesome.
And that's in April.
That's great. That's great. So what can you tell people out there? You've kind of walked both paths now. What can you tell people out there that may be in a similar situation you, that 240-pound guy that needs to lose weight, or the guy that's trying to build muscle? I mean, in a sense, it's all the same, really, just setting those goals. But what can you tell those people out there?
Well, I go back, I do a lot of reading, and so one of my favorite authors is Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
One of his favorite sayings is, whatever the mind can believe or whatever can achieve, whatever can conceive, you can achieve.
Yeah.
And so, going back to 1999, and if you saw the picture of where I was, to think I could go from that to this state, that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
But I finally got to the point where I conceptualized, I believed that I could actually achieve that. And I decided there was not going to be anything that stood in my way. I was going to complete the program, and I was going to experience success. If I can do it, I think just about anybody can do it.
That's amazing. Yeah. So 26 years old, this guy was 240 plus. Today, 40 years old, he's 188 pounds, 12% body fat, and rocking. Steve,
thank you.
Congratulations on your success and continued success. Thank you guys for following. Check out hitchfit.com. Have a healthy and happy day.